Today is May 15th. It's 3 p.m. The Board of Police Commission meeting is called to order. We have invocation by Chaplain Roy Hill via Zoom.
Good afternoon. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you all. Let us pray. Most holy and righteous God, we come this afternoon first to say thank you for your grace. Thank you for your goodness, and we thank you for your mercy. Thank you for your kindness that you have shown all of us. We pray for our Board of Commissioners, not only for our commissioner, but we pray for the city of Detroit. We pray for the Detroit Police Department. Oh God, we ask that you would give every officer guidance and wisdom and protection. We pray according to Psalms 91 that they will dwell in the secret place of the Most High. That you pray collectively for the city of Detroit. We lift her up to you, and we pray that this will become a better place of peace as it moving in the right direction. We pray for every family that dwells here, that they will be prosperous and healthy and protected. This is our prayer. We ask this prayer in the name of Jesus. Everyone said their heart, amen.
Amen.
Thank you all, and have a good day. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have commissioners that's en route. Look like we will have a quorum, but in the meantime, we're gonna let's go into oral communications and pending the commissioners coming in.
Mr. Chairman, currently for oral communications, we have one person, two people in the audience. I'll call Deborah McCrae, followed by Bernice Smith.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon to each and every one of you and
Good
everyone here. God bless you all.
God bless you.
Since the last time I was here, which was on the first, speaking on, how we say, slumlords, with managers, how we call them, not officemen, but building managers that are retirees who have family members that break the law. They're now retaliating against me since I wasn't here last time. Speaking on the building manager who came in on me with another perp. I followed procedure and filed me a police report on B&E, but I didn't file one on with the camera systems and everything they had in my home. They had camera systems and speakers. They removed some of them out, and I took pictures of some of the areas where they had it. They had it in my bedroom, my bathroom, my living room, my kitchen. Right now, what I'm dealing with is other family members coming in and out. Like, they're probably in my apartment right now while I'm not there. Is family members of that person who came in on my home, uninvited, and I did follow proper procedure. How do I handle retaliation from other family members of a retired officer who broke the law? But he's hired by the company where I reside, Detroit Homes Property Management, CAD Real Estate Investments. And they're not here. They're in Thailand, Bangkok, but they have offices here where they hire people to manage their buildings and do surveillance. Surveillance go a little bit more past what they should. Like I said, with cameras in your house instead of in the hallways and in the washrooms. How you handle that when people retaliate against you when you stand up for what's right and you haven't did anything wrong? I'm just trying to protect myself. I'm a regular citizen.
Are you done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's kind of over. That's not in my purview, and I don't know if any other commissioner want to respond to it. But, if you file reports and then you make complaints, if you're not getting the service that you need, far as from the police department, the mechanism you can use is through the Board of Police Commission or through OCI to file a complaint concerning any type of problems you may have with police officers. But we have no purview over retired officers, and we don't deal with criminal matters either. So I'm not sure if we can help you with anything. But if it's a complaint against a police officer, if you file a complaint, that complaint will get investigated.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for.
Yep.
Good afternoon to my police commissioners. Good afternoon. And to my chief, glad to see you. You did a good job the other night on the TV, as usual. I'm not surprised. I don't have too much to say. I wrote down what I wanted to say so I can be very plain and let you know how I feel, all right? We're living in a state of destruction. Racial injustice is the black man's burden. We must pray and love and be peaceful. We can be co-workers of God. We must end the crime in our city. Enough is enough. We must stop the shooting and killing of each other. There should be love and peace, not destroying our people. Parents, check who your children associate with and know where their whereabouts are. A lot of them, I know, they're not at home. I understand that. But still, be interested in what they're doing, because it seems like they're running amok here in our city by hijacking and shooting and doing things that we're not used to having done in our city. And all I got to say is, you have the power. Use it.
We have an additional speaker in the room, Minister Eric Blunt.
Good afternoon, Board. I'm Minister Eric Blunt from Sacred Heart Catholic Church, but
Good afternoon.
Chief Hayes doesn't know where I'm from. He grew up in the church, Sacred Heart, that is. Chairperson Woods, again, just the agenda shows the corruption. Why? Why this board honors any police officer is beyond me. And I mean that with all sincerity. We spend thousands of dollars each year sending most of you to NACO, right? I funded myself on my own credit card to see what NACO was all about. NACO is still saying the #1 priority, the most important thing that an oversight board can do is be independent. But yet, you still can't seem to get there. Somehow, the police department has got you by the throat. That's the only thing I can think of. And I know there was another young man from Sacred Heart, a police officer, was honored as Police Officer of the Month. They had a big to-do down at Motor City. He got $500 and a watch. They know how to award and promote good officers. They do it more than you and better than you. And they are not your employees. So why? With NACO, you go there every year. The #1 pillar, the #1 principle is independence. And yet this board says no. Says no. For the HR report, make some of it about police officer misconduct. Who was suspended? For how long? Did their suspension take? Did they get their back pay? Because suspension really is discipline.
You got 2 seconds.
And discipline is meant to correct behavior. And if you don't know if the behavior is being corrected, your discipline is useless.
Next speaker.
Kelly Wilson, and then I believe we will go into Zoom.
Hello, Commissioners.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. On March 19, 2011, my brother Tyrone Birch was shot and killed in the alley on Finkel and Prest. The investigation resulted in conclusions numerous factual inconsistencies, procedural irregularities, and ethnical concerns that call for another formal review. The initial lie to the police that the shooter told was that my brother was shot at him as he was closing the bar. Once in the interview, he revealed that he was in the alley, seeing my brother running at him, and he shot. They said, "Did my brother say anything to you?" "No." "Did you see a gun on him?" He said, "No." He said, "Well, why did you shoot him?" He said, "I don't know." The officer coerced him to say, "Man, come on, I know you had to feel something." "Oh, yeah, duh, I was scared." That was enough. The second is the disputed gunfire. The police continuously wrote in their reports that Mr. Birch and Mr. Jones exchanged gunfire, even though Mr. Birch did not have a gun. Second of all, they explained that to the medical examiner, who put in the autopsy report that my brother died as the cause of a gunfight. It wasn't true. My brother's body was removed from the scene before investigators got there. EMS did not report or anything that there was a weapon on the scene. The gun later that was found on the scene, that it was assumed to be my brother's, had no prints on it, and it was not operable. It took the Michigan State Crime Lab 6 months to make it work, just to find out what was going on with it. The forensics, like I said, they misled the medical examiner. The only witnesses they had was his wife and his friends. The video evidence by law MCL 780.651, it is the police's responsibility to seize or inspect any video equipment in which a felony is occurring for evidence. They refused to do that. They didn't bag my brother's hands. They didn't close off the crime scene. Other bullets was found on the other end of the crime scene. They said my brother had an Everfresh bottle full of gas. Well, that wasn't found either by the police investigators.
All right, ma'am, you way beyond time, but let me ask you this. Have you been in contact with the investigators, or is it a cold case now?
Yes, most of the investigators and everyone is gone. Detective Olson was the lead detective in the case.
And so you need an update on the cases that?
No, I want the case to be reopened. I want these inconsistencies and this ethics issue, I want those taken up with. And I also want Mr. Paul Jones to be, it wasn't self-defense. You can't go out looking for someone with the gun twice,
Okay.
and then
So
claim self-defense. He initiated it.
It's not in our purview to direct a investigation, but you are in the right place for us to connect you with people to have a conversation, and be, if you have something else to present to them, if you need to communicate with someone, the assistant chief
Yes, I
Hayes.
do. I mean, I really don't understand why. I have the FOIA and the interview. The evidence is in the police officer's own records. If the man says the valet went and knocked on the door, told the bar owner that the guy is in the alley, and the bar owner go get his gun and go out to the alley, I don't understand why you don't look at your own evidence and understand that that was not self-defense.
Yes, ma'am. And so I it's way beyond my purview and our purview, but we want to make sure that Assistant Chief Franklin Hayes have someone to hear everything that you have to say regarding this, and have homicide, look into things if they, I don't know, if it have been looked into, have
It
not
has
been
been looked into. I've spoken to over
I got
30
you, ma'am.
people.
So what we want to do is make sure he connects you with someone from homicide to deal with everything that you're talking about. And, they the police, and we want to hear back in terms of what the response is to that within a week. So, Madam Secretary, make sure we take note of this. And you can also leave your, if you can get my contact information, it should be on one of those pamphlets. You can follow up with me personally on this as well.
I appreciate it. And the last thing I wanted to just add is that the man who shot my brother, the bar owner, his brother was an ex-Detroit police officer.
Okay. Okay, Assistant Chief, you got that?
Mr. Chair, absolutely. And ma'am, certainly on behalf of the Detroit Police Department, our heart go out to your tragic loss of your brother. There's an officer standing by the door that will get your information. And in addition, if I can ask you to hold for about another 5 minutes, I'm getting ready to have the captain of the homicide section come down, get your information so that we can begin asking the questions, going over the facts for a follow-up to sit down and let you know where we are in this investigation and what has been done, as well as the findings from the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Next speaker.
Patricia Montgomery, followed by former Police Commissioner William Davis.
Ms. Montgomery, you may be heard. Hello, Ms. Montgomery. Are you there? No, Ms. Montgomery. We can go with William Davis, possibly.
Good afternoon. Can I be heard?
Yes, sir.
I would like to say that just this past Tuesday, I was at the 12th Precinct Police Community Relationship Council meeting, and they had an outstanding memorial service for fallen officers. I think far too often, but perhaps this board does, like I say, indulge the police more than they probably should. They should be talking about what they can do to improve it. But I think this is one week when you can and should be recognizing the fact that that's one of the few jobs that you could have that your family never knows if you're going to come back home. So this is one week where I think you can and should be recognizing police officers. Also, I think that we need to be doing more to make sure that we don't have to go through so many memorials. We should be doing more to recognize that that is a very difficult job to have, to do it. And also the fact that even retired officers go through a lot. And that's all I have to say for today. Thank you.
Thank you very kindly.
That was the last speaker in Zoom.
That's the last speaker on Zoom.
We have a arrival who wants to make a public comment.
Okay.
Sir?
Not a problem.
Sir? If you could state your name for the record.
Lund, Dana.
Okay. You may be heard.
I just want to know, what is it that the thing is about dumping? What's illegal dumping? If you put it in next to a house next to you, is that illegal dumping? If it's one of those houses that's owned by the city, is that illegal dumping if you put trash in front of that house?
Are you making a statement?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
I'm not a lawyer. I can't say what it is and what it's not.
Well, if you're putting trash in front of another house that's not occupied.
I can't speak to that.
Assistant Chief.
Sure, yeah.
Through the chair, dumping, it sounds to me that that is illegal dumping. What you described, taking items and putting them in the place, depositing them any place other than the rubbish, or putting them out during the scheduled trash bulk pickup day here in the city. Based on what you've said thus far, that would constitute illegal dumping.
Because a homeowner next door at 19525, it keeps putting trash right there, but they didn't pick it up yesterday, which is the trash day, and I done called the 9th precinct ever since 9:30 this morning, Sergeant Harper, and I haven't got a call back, and I done called 3 times, and I still haven't got a call back. And the other thing is, why is it that no one's taking any care of the business of some of these officers that keeps doing wrong, that they have a problem of bullying all the citizens of Detroit? Why is that a big thing that they can't handle that situation?
Are you saying that you're being bullied by officers?
No, the people of Detroit, of Wayne County. Period.
So are you being bullied?
Yeah, I would call that because they're not handling their business. I mean, because I feel that they don't think that we're human. They only think if something happened to them, quote unquote, that we should care more about them than they care about us. We're still people too. One incident when the officer fell through a floor, you got everybody on the force want to run over there because he just fell through a floor. We're people too. They should care about us just as well as we supposed to care about them.
I think we all should care about each other. Yes, you're correct.
But they
sir.
don't show that. That's what I'm saying. They treat themselves better than they should treat everyone else. We're human. So they should have consideration for the people as well as they want the people to have consideration for them. That's all I'm saying. They treat themselves as their own gang, but you want the people to have care for you, but they don't.
Okay.
They don't have care for the people.
All right. So you wait well being over the time.
I have no problem with that.
Okay, and if anything that was in our purview, if you have a complaint against the officer, you can file that with the Office of Chief Investigator. If you have a complaint with the officer, but Assistant Chief Hayes, can you make sure that the 9th Precinct give him the response to his phone calls?
Absolutely. There is an officer standing behind you now that will get the information for you and from you. Go ahead. And then from there, we will address the issues that you brought forth as it relates to dumping.
I have no problem with that neither, sir, but I'm just saying I've been complaining for years about that situation.
Well, the work starts today, sir.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Yep. So we're still waiting on a quorum to come in. Let me see what we can do on the agenda. Can we do the HR report?
Is the HR person someone who works for the BOPC?
Yes, it's what works. It's one of our appointees.
Staff member of the BOPC, then you can do that report.
How you? Yeah.
I don't know that we've ever done that through the chair. Through the chair, I'll just comment that I don't know that we've ever done that before.
Without the quorum. Yeah, with the she served at the pleasure.
I'm just providing commentary, that's all.
Yeah.
Chair, how about we just have the secretary's report?
Yes.
And then we'll
yes.
take it from
All
there.
right, Madam Secretary. Is Commissioner Burton still out there? All right.
The report from today is as listed on the agenda: facial recognition report, shot spotter weekly report. There are memoranda from the various committees, which are also will be listed and spoken to and presented during new business. Announcements for the week are the next board meeting is next Thursday, May 22nd, 3 p.m. here at headquarters. The June community meeting will be held Thursday, June 12th, 6:30 p.m. It will be held in the 7th Precinct at Sacred Heart Activities Building, which is located at 3451 Rivard Street in Detroit. The next committee meetings are as follows. The Policy Committee will meet Tuesday, May 27th at 5 p.m. here in Public Safety Headquarters, and the Towing Committee will meet the following day, Wednesday, May 28th, here at Detroit Public Safety Headquarters. And those are the announcements and report for today's meeting.
Okay. We can get the chief investigator to update the community and where we at on things. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and
Yeah.
to the honorable members of the board and to the community. Thank you all so very much for being here today. As you all know, the Office of the Chief Investigator has been undergoing a number of reorganizations and the changes in our office. As you all know, we are fully staffed. We have close to 22 investigators in our rotation, and they are performing excellently. because of our new case management system, they are still in the process of being able to mine the numbers, but our preliminary reports say that for the month of April, we've actually closed over 222 cases. And if you do the year aggregate, we've closed 836 cases. That's important because all of last year we've closed 900, and I believe it was 47 cases. So just in the first 4 months of this year, we've closed almost as much as we did last year because of the fact that of our new technology as well as being fully staffed. And sir, if you want me to defer the rest of my comments, I can.
No, you keep it up.
In addition to that, we have come up with an addendum to our standard operating procedures that we reported out to the Citizen Complaint Committee this week that will allow us to expedite our cases even further, especially those cases that have been significantly aged in our system. Obviously, Commission members, you have that report in your binders, and I believe that by the end of this year, we will be completely done with the backlog based on the addendum to the SOP that addresses very specifically backlog cases. And the great thing about this addendum is that as the Office of the Chief Investigator continues to go forward, no matter who's sitting in this seat, this will be part of their regular operations if a backlog should creep up again. So that is my report at this time, sir.
Thank you so much. Any questions to the Chief Investigator? There being no questions, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Commissioner Woods,
Present.
Commissioner Moore,
Present.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Present.
Commissioner DeWalsh,
Present.
Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Burton,
Present.
6 present, sir.
Through the chair,
Yes.
could we just acknowledge if any of the absent commissioners requested an excuse?
Yes.
I do have a couple that asked to be excused. However, they also said they may be coming in prior to. Is one of the reasons I didn't mention excuse.
So they excused for right now.
Would you,
Yes, they put it on the record, please.
I'm sorry,
Put it on the record.
as
If they ask to be excused, put the excuse on the record.
Commissioner Banks excused, Commissioner Bell excused.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to entertain a motion for the approval of the May 15, 2025 agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Hernandez, supported by Commissioner Moore. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? The motion is-
Discussion. Mr. Chairman, for the administrator position, I noticed there is one administrator position where one person is looking to be moving through the process, but I like it if we can have, from a democracy standpoint, if we can have a runoff where we can have a second or third name for that position as well as the second administrator position. I think there's 3 applicants or whatever that's moving forward to the full board. I like to see the same thing with the other administrator position where there's more than just one name coming before the full board.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Thank you. I'll provide a brief response based on my role as chairperson of the Personnel and Training Committee. There was a consensus amongst the committee for the administrator position to move forward with the identified candidate, along with a secondary candidate pending any open positions that may be made available in the future. As a reminder, and this is more of a budget committee item, which I also sit on, we were preliminarily approved for additional postings beginning in July. And I put that out there prospectively because those postings are not yet up. Therefore, we, in partnership with HR, they advised us that we could actually identify, not select, an additional candidate prospectively for that upcoming posting. So instead of having to come back and re-interview the same pool of people for the same qualifications. That's why we're doing it that way. For the Administrator 3 position, the interviews were tight enough that the committee felt the entire board should be a part of that interview process as well, which is why we have those 3 candidates present today.
Yeah.
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
I don't agree that that the committee didn't look at this or whatever. But what I do understand is that we are not following the process that we had in previous job postings or. And so the process, I'd like to know what's changing from this process versus the previous processes. But it's just I don't want to say that the committee didn't have the best intentions in hand. I'm not going to say that, but I don't agree with this process. I think that would be fair.
Mr. Chairman,
Because
Yes.
the process did change.
the parliamentarian
Excuse me.
advises that the report of the Personnel Committee is on the agenda.
Yes, and we discussed
Therefore,
it
this
today.
is not an amendment to the agenda because that report is already on the agenda. The commissioner can certainly bring up this issue when that committee report is presented.
Absolutely.
And make a motion to refer this matter back to the committee.
Okay.
If that is what the commissioner, if the commissioner is not satisfied with the process. But at this time, what is before the board is approval of the agenda.
Yes.
And what the commissioner is discussing is not a change or an addition to the agenda.
Sure, and I'd just like to just add this real quick briefly. I'm not saying that the committee didn't have the best intentions or anything, for this board or for the committee. It's more so about the process
The parliamentarian believes she understands the commissioner's issue, but what is before the board is approval of the agenda.
Sure. Okay.
And what the commissioner is discussing is a committee report that is going to come up, and at that point, full presentation of the commissioner's concerns would be appropriate. But at this time, since what the commissioner is discussing is not an amendment to the agenda, it is not part of what is before the board at this time.
Absolutely. All in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. I entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes for May 8th, 2025.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Hernandez, supported by Commissioner Moore. In discussion, all in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. You have a resolution honoring the retired Deputy Chief Mary.
Introduction.
Oh, I skipped. I'm sorry. Oh, introduction of it's in small print there. Say that one more time, ma'am. Introduction of the BOPC staff and Chief of Police and all of the above. Say it one more time.
Through the chair, BOPC staff present today are as follows: Attorney Dante Goss, Jerome Warfield, Chief Investigator, Drew Freeze, Felicia Tyson, Mary Barber, Teresa Blossom, Candace Hayes, Armesia Joshua, Janya Underwood, Supervising Investigator Elgin Murphy, and Dr. Francis Jackson, Parliamentarian, DPD HR Director Katrina Patilov. For Police Chief Todd Bettison's office is Assistant Chief Franklin Hayes. Our interpreters today are Ms. Yakata and Dr. Stephanie Beatty. Court reporter Don Handyside, Enrique Jackson for audiovisual, Charles Henry, Media Services Video. Elected officials or representatives registered at this time are as follows: Marie Overall for State Representative Tyrone Carter's office, LaDon Davis, Office of Council Member Fred Durhall, Ron Thomas, President DPOA, Detroit Police Officers of America, and former Detroit Police Commissioner William Davis. Those are all that are registered at this time.
Okay, thank you very kindly. All right, we have the resolution honoring retired Deputy Chief Mary Jarrett Jackson. Who offered this resolution, Madam Secretary? Who?
I can read it, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, okay, because I'm not familiar who requested this.
The department the DPD, as well as Commissioner Bell.
Okay.
And I do know
see what
the family also was.
you
involved, right?
I have no problem with innocent, but I wasn't aware of it. Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Moore.
Memorial resolution honoring retired Deputy Chief Mary Jarrett Jackson. Whereas Mary Jarrett Jackson was a born scientist with a destiny that racial prejudice and sexual discrimination in America and law enforcement could not derail. Following in the footsteps of her father, a River Rouge police officer, Mary wanted to pursue her dream of working at the Detroit Police Department Crime Lab. Against constant obstacles, she became one of the first black female Detroit police officers in 1958. She later became the first female president of the Black Police Organization, the Guardians of Michigan, in 1977, the first black female deputy chief in the world in 1986, and a forensics legend from Detroit to Scotland Yard during her 35-year career. And whereas a true trailblazer, she used her innate skills and impeccable credentials to make groundbreaking achievements. Despite graduating from the prestigious Howard University with majors in chemistry and physics, and her experience at hospital labs in Washington, D.C. and Detroit, Officer Jarrett Jackson found herself passed over for lab assignments by men with no education or training. The white male-dominated department leaders, under pressure about blatant discrimination, grudgingly gave her a special test. She naturally aced it and went to the Scientific Bureau in 1964, making her the first woman and first black in the crime lab. 6 years later, she was in charge of the lab as the lab director. And whereas time revealed how fate need her in the crime lab when in March 1973, it fell to Sergeant Jarrett Jackson to process evidence in a fatal officer-involved shooting. Her forensic tests exposed undeniable facts. A white officer had killed an unarmed black man, then planted a knife to cover up the murder. Faced with her ironclad evidence, the officer admitted to planting the weapon, then pulled back the curtain on the brutal DPD campaign against black residents called Stress, Stop the Robberies and Enjoy Safe Streets. A majority white jury refused to convict the corrupt officer. However, Sergeant Jarrett Jackson's work had exposed heinous practices inside DPD, which made her and her family targets of death threats. Wow. She stood firm, rallied other officers committed to professionalism and justice, and working for police reforms with the community, including State Senator Coleman A. Young. And whereas with Mayor Young in 1974, the new Board of Police Commissioners began working with Sergeant Jarrett Jackson as she continued to rise through the ranks to deputy chief. She engaged with the board on civilian oversight goals for years after her 1994 retirement. In 2019, the board honored her fearless commitment to facts, justice, and police accountability with a special award. On April 25th, 2025, at age 94, retired Deputy Chief Mary Jarrett Jackson passed away, yet forever remains a notable figure in history and science. Therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Police Commissioners awards this resolution posthumously in honor of the remarkable Mary Jarrett Jackson, whose pursuit of her dream job was fated to forever change the police department in the city of Detroit. Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore and supported by Commissioner Hernandez. Any discussion? I'll just say what a remarkable lady.
Right.
So, absolutely. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. All right, we did the oral communications and the Chief of Police report.
Good afternoon to this honorable body, those in attendance as well as those joining remotely. My name is Franklin Hayes, Assistant Police Chief, and I will be providing Chief Bedison, the Chief of Police report. I want to start off with our crime numbers. We continue to trend historically low in our Part 1 violent crimes. Homicide, year to date, we are down 9, 65 last year. This year, we are at 56 for a 14% reduction. Non-fatal shootings, we have 60 less shootings, 183 2024, 119 2025. With those two numbers alone, there are 73 different families now, less families that have been impacted by gun violence here in the city of Detroit. Our robberies, we are down 15%. We had 356 happen this time last year. Year to date, we are at 304 for 52 less. Carjackings, 33 last year, 22 this year. That's 11 less for a 33% reduction. Overall, we are down 10%. In Part 1 violent crimes, we had 3,815 incidents last year. This year, we are at 3,453 for a total of 362 less violent crime incidents happening in the city year to date.
Let the record reflect that Commissioner Presley is present.
Want to transition to a couple significant events that have happened since this body last convened. We want to start with Saturday, May 10th, where officers were called to the 1000 block of Woodward for a reported stabbing. Officers located the victim, who received treatment and was taken to the local area hospital. Through the hard work of the officers, about 40 minutes later, the suspect was located and she was taken into custody. The suspect was charged with felonious assault. This was an isolated incident between two juveniles, and we certainly want to remind this community and certainly all parents to be responsible for their children. And we also want to remind them that we have many officers deployed in the downtown area and anywhere that we know large groups will be. We want to encourage our youth to enjoy everything our city has to offer in our downtown areas. And again, certainly that parental responsibility, but we want to encourage not to make bad decisions committing a crime, because you certainly will be apprehended and held accountable. I want to talk about an incident that also happened this past weekend at a gas station on Detroit's east side at 6 Mile and Conant, where a clerk made a decision to pull a firearm and point it at a customer and shoot, discharging the firearm. There was bulletproof glass barrier between the both of them. However, shards of the glass struck the victim in this incident. We swiftly placed that clerk into custody. And within 48 hours, actually 24 hours, Chief Bedison ensured that his commitment to this community, holding those that offer services to our residents, they will treat them humanely, with dignity and with respect to our residents here in the city of Detroit, and anyone in our city for that matter, not just residents, those that may come and visit or recreate as well. And for that, we swiftly closed the location, and now they have the process of explaining why they should continue to enjoy the privilege of serving the residents, as well as, again, those that work and also visit our city as well, because based on those actions, that is not anyone that we want, again, having a business here in our city. That business was also a green light. And it is important that the partnership with Greenlight, we've worked very hard to build that program, and we will not lose credibility by continuing relationships with bad partners that make those decisions. So they have also been suspended from the Greenlight program as well. So again, we will work to keep this body informed of incidents like that in the future. Hopefully they are few and far in between, hopefully non-existent, but in the event that that happens, we'll certainly take the charge to keep this body informed of those incidents, so that certainly we can address those and hold those accountable.
And let the record reflect that Commissioner Carter is present.
Just a few last things. As summer is rapidly approaching, we are on a campaign to encourage and, quite frankly, insist responsible driving throughout our city. With that campaign, we are focused on speeding, as well as license plates and vehicles being properly registered. when driving through our city streets. That is an active campaign, and all of our precincts are focusing on this. And from that, we've made several arrests, recovered several firearms, and ordinance have been issued, as well as vehicles that have been impounded that do not have a license plate on them at all. You'd be surprised, some may fold up a piece of paper and just write a date on it to do that as well and drive amongst our streets. We are having a zero tolerance as we address these issues as our youth. As I talked about downtown, while there's an encouragement for youth to make better decisions and enjoy downtown responsibly, there's also an onus to adults and those that are operating these vehicles. They too need to make responsible decisions as well and operate these vehicles lawfully, registered, and within the speed limits. As former Commissioner Davis, certainly appreciate his empathy and recognition, although this body as well does that. This is National Police Week. So across the nation, police departments are recognized during this week, remembering those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. At our precincts across the city, officers and members of the community are currently holding events to remember our fallen officers. We encourage those to stop by any of our precincts and enjoy their food. And certainly refreshments. Some of the families of the fallen officers are there as well. Please come meet them as it relates to, their tragic loss was done so for the safety of this city. So again, we encourage everyone to come out. Tomorrow's the last day, but please, if your schedule allows, it would mean a lot.
Absolutely.
And then lastly, recruiting. We are continuing to bolster our numbers. We are almost at 100% in our sworn positions and above 90 in our non-sworn, our professional positions. On May 15th, the police recruiting team is at Asher School Career Fair in Southgate. Next Wednesday, May 21st, they will be at the City Employee Resource Fair at KMAC. The Matrix Career Fair on 13560 in East McNichols, and the Detroit Leadership Academy at 5484 Auburn Street. Mr. Chair, that concludes my report, and I will gladly answer any questions this body may have of me, sir.
Commissioner Hernandez, thank you.
Thank you. Through the chair, I think I have more of a delayed comment given my absence, my excused absence last week. Fourth Precinct 2 weeks ago had obviously the hefty responsibility of Cinco de Mayo activations in Southwest Detroit. I prayed enough for rain, and somehow it rained all day, so I think that was a good factor. Regardless, though, I was there for several hours with a number of different officers, including Commander Holderbaum as well.
For sure.
They did a phenomenal job that entire weekend. And on actual Cinco de Mayo on Monday, I was out as well with 4th Precinct. So I just want to recognize, even if it's delayed, there were disturbances, which I think naturally are always going to have when you have that volume of activations and residents and entertainment and so forth. But there was a partnership, I think, that began or was reinforced last year with local businesses and community organizations to make sure that this year was much different. And I think the results reflect that partnership that's ongoing. I don't want to forget anyone, but I'm just going to say a couple names of officers that definitely stepped up in a lot of big ways. Obviously, Commander Holderbaum, Captain Star Gonzalez, who has newly moved into 4th Precinct and was recently promoted. NPO Rodriguez, Officer Luna, Officer Sears, well now Sergeant Sears, Officer Lopez, and Officer Rios. All of them, again, including the rest of 4th Precinct, did a phenomenal job, but they definitely stood out that day. And then one final comment. I actually, in my entire tenure of being on this board, and I'm kind of sad to say it, attended my very first graduation on Monday, and actually was given the task a couple minutes before of speaking at this graduation. I was very impressed that there were obviously so many families. I just would encourage any commissioner or any resident who has never been a part of a promotional ceremony to actually go out, take the time and see how supportive obviously the community and families are of those that get promoted. And obviously we have our very own Assistant Chief Hayes, who was a part of that promotional ceremony as well. So just congratulations again to everyone. The expectations are high, the accountability is even higher, but I was just really happy to be able to attend on your behalf.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the great job you did. Yes, yes.
Thank you,
DeMarsh,
Mr.
and then
Chair.
Commissioner Moore.
Actually, I was going to start my comments exactly the way Commissioner Hernandez did. I was also excused last week and did not get an opportunity to comment on the great job. And I'm not going to repeat or say any names because Commissioner Hernandez already did, but I do want to say that I gave AC a call the night before the parade because I was getting calls from several leaders. I got like 4 calls from leaders who had said there was a rumor going around in the community that ICE and DPD were working together and they were going to be rounding up people to take them in, to get them deported. And so people were just, my phone was ringing, my cell phone was ringing constantly. So I called AC right away, and I told him, I said, there's this rumor, and once it starts, it's like wildfire in our community. Everybody will hear this rumor.
Sure.
And so he assured me, he was very, very deliberate in his comment, and he said, absolutely not. We are not working with the Border Patrol to round people up. Absolutely not. The chief is going to be in the parade, and so is the mayor. So please call your people back and tell them they have nothing to worry about. And so, there, as far as I know, I was at the parade as well all day. And there was nothing that happened during the parade other than it rained. A lot of people, it was cold rain. People were coming into El Central where, I have the newspaper. And even the chief came and AC came to stop by and visit. So I just want to thank everyone who worked so hard in the department to make sure that this was a very, very nice event for our community because our people still came out, even if with that threat, with the thought that might happen, and with the rain, we still had about 8,000 people that came out to the parade. So thank you so much for allowing us to have that celebration of our culture. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I said initially I wasn't going to ask any questions, but 2 popped up, so forgive me. The first one deals with carjacking. If a citizen walks into a precinct and they don't have any proof of insurance, can a carjacking report still take place?
Thank you. Through the chair, yes, it can.
Okay. Second question is noise complaints. I know that there's a task force, a group of folks, DPD, that are in position to handle large-scale noise complaints. What is a citizen to do if it's the neighbor that's playing their radio loud in the car or something like that? Can they sign a green ticket like they used to do back in the day? What would you advise a citizen to do if their neighbor consistently plays loud music?
Through the chair, there are a couple different avenues that the resident can take. They can certainly call 911. They should have a relationship with their precinct commander as well as their MPO. They can feel free to use that as well and do that. We have a group of members dedicated to those quality of life issues. Several are in attendance today, our MPO. So again, noise ordinance, whether it be from a venue, whether it be from a car, there are things that are in place and there are tools that the city charter / code has given us to hold them accountable and not be disruptive to the peace and tranquility of our neighborhoods.
But a citizen, through the chair, a citizen can't sign the green ticket if the officer is not present to hear the noise.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, AC. We're going to go to the Human Resource Bureau report. Ms. Patillo, how you doing?
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Chair. Through the board,
You don't have to take 10 minutes either.
I won't. The HR report for the month of April. You all should have been provided the packet. So for the report for the department, and this is for the month of April. For the department was filled at 97%. For sworn, we were filled at 99%. 2,641 positions were filled. We had 33 vacancies, 1% vacancy rate. For civilian professional staff, we were filled at 764 positions, 93%, and 59 vacancies, 7% vacancies. For the sworn recruiting for fiscal year until April 30th, we have received a total of 1,990 applications. 559 were in processing, 3 withdrew, 592 were archived, 142 members have been hired during the fiscal year, 249 were temporarily disqualified, 179 were permanently disqualified, and 266 was waiting on MCO's testing. For the testing for April, for the written exam, we had 72 that was scheduled, 40 appeared, 25 that passed, 62% passing rate, 15 failed, that was 38% failure rate, 1 rescheduled, 31 no-shows. For the physical agility, 69 scheduled, 34 appeared, 21 passed, 62% passing rate, 13 failed, 38% failure rate, 3 rescheduled, and 32 no-shows. We did not have any graduates for the month of April. For new hires, we had a total of 48. That was 19 sworn, 29 professional staff. For the Detroit residency, for Detroit, we have for total sworn 603, police assistant 15, those are Detroit residents, and 438 professional staff. For the non-Detroiters, 2,038. Total sworn, 12 police assistants and 327 civilians. Of those new hires that we had for the civilian professional staff, 18 are Detroit residents, 3 for sworn for Detroit residents for the academy. For the attrition, we had a total of 25, 10 police officers, 13 professional staff, and 2 police assistants. For our leave of absence, for sworn and civilian, for FMLA continuous, we had 13 sworn, 3 civilians. For FMLA intermediate, 129 sworn, 74 civilians. Paid parental leave, we had 9 sworn, 1 civilian. Medical leave, 4 civilian. Restricted, 154 sworn, 11 civilian. Disabled, 14 sworn, 4 civilians. Sick, 19 sworn, 5 civilians. For suspensions, we had a total of 14, 13 police officers, 1 sergeant. For monthly separations, we had a total of 10. The breakout was 8 police officers, 2 lieutenants. And then for our deferred retirement program, we had a total of 490. From January 2023 to the present, we have a net gain of 348 police officers. We have hired during this time 713. 365 is separated. For this calendar year, we have a net gain of 10. We've hired 85, 75 is separated. This past Friday, we graduated a class of 39 student police officers. We currently have 5 academy classes going right now, 118 students. We expect to conduct another hiring on May 29th. And for the LPAC, SPAC, and DPAC graduation, we had over 800 in attendance of guests. Those promotions and appointees were 1 AC assistant chief, 1 assistant chief, 1 commander, 1 deputy chief, 11 lieutenants, 28 sergeants, and 18 detectives. Pending any questions, that concludes my presentation.
Commissioner DeWalsh.
Yes, thank you. Just a quick question, since we're close to the 100% mark, and I know that could change every month. What happens if we reach 100%? Do you continue recruiting and collecting or starting a wait list of some kind, or do you stop recruiting? You know, what is the process?
So I would say, and this is me speaking, I would say that we would continue to need to recruit, and the reason why is because we attrit every month. And so if I just stand idle and do nothing, that the numbers can creep up on you on the vacancies. So I think once we get to 100, and I do believe it's possible, that I would need to have a conversation with the chief, the board of police commissioner, the mayor, to determine how to go forward at that point. But yes.
And just a couple of more comments, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
This is, I've been on the commission. This is my 3rd term, and I have never seen the numbers this high ever. So, you know, the department is to be commended. And also, the number of separations is also very low. I recall when we would have as many graduates, as many separations as we had graduates, you know, for that month. So, you know, again, whatever you're doing is working, and thank you. Thank you for that.
I would say it's a team effort. So from the unions to the city council passing the economic package that they passed, to the governor passing the bill where there's a repayment if you graduate from our academy class, and if it's less than 4 years, you have to pay back a portion of that. We haven't seen that many that fall into the category, but I think it's a collective effort from everyone taking part and doing what's needed and what's necessary.
Thank you.
Any further questions? No other questions? Thank you very kindly. Thank you for the great job you're doing.
Thanks.
We at new business? Unfinished business. Okay, there's none. So we had new business. So the Citizen Complaint Committee report. Yes, sir, Commissioner.
Thank you. Through the chair, I encourage my colleagues to take the moment to review the memorandum that comes from the Citizen Complaint Committee meeting that was held this past Tuesday, May the 13th, 2025. But there is one action item that comes out of the committee relative to the standard operating procedure addendum that was provided and presented to us by the chief investigator, and the committee moved that forward for the board. And so by direction of the Citizen Complaint Committee, we moved to adopt the addendum to the standard operating procedures for the Office of the Chief Investigator expedited backlog guidelines.
If there's no objections, there was a motion made to accept, there's a recommendation by the Citizen Complaint Committee to move their item forward. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you. Did I do it right? All right.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I was looking at
Close enough.
Mama May I. So the Budget Committee, we go to Commissioner DeWalsh.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. There was a Budget Committee, a meeting held on May 13th, and present were myself and Commissioner Bernard, and we also had staff attendees. And from that Budget Committee, there is an action item, and that action item is that I want to propose, by the direction of the Budget Committee, I move to extend the length of time in which the OCI investigator task workers will serve the board from the end of this fiscal year, June 30th, 2025, to November 21st, 2025, which is the expiration date of the Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Detroit and the Michigan Association of Public Employees, Local Number 214.
By direction of the Budget Committee, by recommendation of the Budget Committee, they moved to recommend to extend the task workers to end in November 2025, which is outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. And the Policy Committee, you're going to handle that?
Mr. Chair, I'll handle the Policy Committee as well.
Yes.
And on behalf of Commissioner Bernard, who's the chair. We met on May 13th as well, and there we had a lot of discussion about various proposed policy directives, and I have, by the direction of the Policy Committee, I move to adopt the following policy directives. Directive 102.6, citizens' complaints, Directive 201.3, domestic violence, Directive 202.1, arrests, Directive 204.7, special events and escorts, Directive 205.4, First Amendment, Directive 301.1, radio procedures, Directive 303.5, uniforms and appearance.
Through the chair.
You want to wait till I make the motion and then?
Mr. Chairman, you need to first state that motion, and then then you can open it up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By direction of the policy committee, they moved to adopt policy directive 1.2.6, 201.3, 202.1, 204.7, 205.4, and 301.1, 303.5. Any discussion?
The parliamentarian would remind the commissioners that without a motion, any one of these can be pulled and voted on separately.
Okay.
Through the
Any
chair.
discussion? Yes.
For discussion, I think it's very important that the policy chairperson, be here to put forth what policies that she would like to see move out of committee today and brought to the table. But also, it'd be nice if, I'm not sure if everyone saw all of the policies that's coming out of committee or have recommendations of their concerns, but it'd be nice if it came from the policy chairperson. My understanding, I believe she's en route now, but I'm not sure if she was bringing all of this today.
Well, she's very familiar with what's going on right now. These are the policies that she helped to put together, and we have a policy member here as well. We have the policy manager here. They have done a phenomenal job in bringing these policies to bear. And from my understanding, these policies were sent to the board for any type of input. And so if you have any input on any type of policy of these policies, that's one thing. But we're not going to ceremonially hold up the business of the Board of Police Commissioners to wait till Commissioner Bernard get here. Further discussion?
Well, I was just going to say through the chair that the chairwoman did submit a letter.
Yes.
There is a letter in our packets.
Right.
Echoing what Commissioner DeWalsh just stated, that's all.
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Chair, if I may, maybe the secretary can confirm these are online and at our website?
Yes, they are online. And
Yeah.
they did go with the agenda on Tuesday and again today. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they, from my understanding, was they sent to all the commissioners?
At the committee posting, the documents were all sent, as well as once they were revised, when, as I said, when the packet went out, electronic packet went out on the posting on Tuesday, and yet again today, together with the memorandum from the committee, with the actual documents were forwarded again.
Yes. So again, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. We have a closed door session pursuant to Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.268A. The department's request for the board to consider administrative leave without pay, but with medical benefits for probationary officer, police officer Alicia Kilgore, badge 2491, assigned to the 5th Precinct.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Hernandez to go into closed session and supported by Commissioner Moore. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
This is a 3-minute recess. The day is May 15th, 4:27. The Board of Police Commission is called back to order. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Woods,
Present.
Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Banks is excused. Commissioner Bell?
Present.
Commissioner Burton?
Present.
Commissioner Carter? Commissioner Moore?
Present.
Commissioner Hernandez?
Present.
Commissioner Presley?
Here.
Commissioner DeWalsh?
Present.
We have a quorum?
9 present.
Yep. What is the pleasure? Yes.
Have we moved on to personnel and training?
Okay.
If there's no action?
All right, so yeah. We will go there. Let's go to the Personnel Training Committee.
Thank you. I'll call a 2-minute recess if we can, just to allow for staff to set up an interview table and a bunch of other things they need to do and get our packets to us.
Okay. Yeah, this is a 2-minute recess.
Mr. Chair, I think we should just, it should be noted clearly that the board did not take action on that.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, put it on the record.
Just for the community awareness, the board did not take action on item number D, the closed session that we came out of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please bring the candidate in. You can bring, yes, thank you. Meeting back up to order. At 4:39, May 15th. And let the record reflect that Commissioner Bernard is present.
This is a summary of the Administrative Specialist 3 position with the Board of Police Commissioners.
Sorry.
All right.
Through the chair. Welcome,
Yes.
sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So item E on the agenda, Personnel and Training Committee, just for the entire body's awareness, this is round 2 of interviews for the Administrative Assistant Level 3, not to be confused with the Administrative Assistant posting that is separate to this. We have 3 candidates scheduled to be interviewed today. Our first candidate, gentleman who joined the room, is Mr. Jerome Jackson. As a reminder, you have the applications and resumes of each of the 3 candidates in the back of your binders, along with the questions that are going to be asked by a few commissioners. If we could, please read the summary of the job description.
This is a summary of the job description for Administrative Specialist 3, Board of Police Commissioners. Under general supervision, plan, organize, coordinate, and exercise responsibility as an Administrative Assistant 3 to the Board of Police Commissioners, Board Secretary, and other staff. Additionally, leads and assists in business operations, including clerical and related work.
Thank you. If I could kindly ask very quickly that each commissioner introduce themselves, starting with Commissioner Bell, just so that our candidate knows who you are.
District 4.
Commissioner Eva Garza DeWalsh, at large.
Ricardo Moore, District 7.
Attorney Linda Bernard, District 2.
Darrell Woods, Chair of the Board of Police Commission.
Good afternoon. Tamara Liberty Smith, District 1.
Quantes Presley, at large.
Lisa Carter, District 6.
Commissioner Willie Burton, District 5.
Jesus Hernandez. Thank you for joining us, sir, for the second round of interviews. The format that we're going to follow is similar to what you experienced in committee earlier this week. Was it last week? It was last week. We're going to ask, my colleagues and I are going to ask a series of 3 questions. These are going to be different questions from what you were asked in committee. We ask that you be as thorough as possible, taking the approach of answering the question, again, with as much detail as you might have in mind. And we'll start with question 1. Each of these are going to follow a similar format also in the sense of having a category assigned to them. Question 1, the dimension or category is around technical experience. If you could please briefly explain how your previous experience and/or education have prepared you for this position. And tied to that, if you could just elaborate on some software applications you may be familiar with and your level of expertise.
Well, I've had much experience. I have worked for several executives.
Speak up, please. Thank you.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I have much experience. I have worked for many different executives, including the director of the Detroit Institute of Arts. I have worked for the director of marketing for General Motors, and I worked at Sinai Grace Hospital, where I worked for the director of nursing. So I am great with computers, Word, PowerPoint, Edge, and I've also worked with Acela. I currently work for the City of Detroit, where we service many different customers. We have 400 employees, and we also have 38,000 customers that we service. I'm a former school teacher, and have a lot of administrative experience, and I'm also a singer. I play organ and piano, and I'm vice president of the Whitfield Company. And this is a group known all over the country. So I have a lot of experience with computers and being in charge. And as a school teacher, I was also department head of the math and science department. I was in charge of 20 teachers, and I was responsible for discipline and for the evaluation of the teachers. So I have dealt with people being diplomatic. I have a very calming personality, and being in charge is something that I've done my whole life. And it started with my mother when I was left watching my brothers and sisters, and from there being a department head and being minister of music at a church. I was in charge of 6 choirs. So I had over 200 choir members that I was responsible for. So diplomacy and the technical acumen just make me a great candidate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next question by Commissioner Moore.
Thank you, sir. Question number 4 comes from the area of dimension, initiative, and self-management. Please describe a situation in which you saw a problem at work and decided to correct it yourself rather than wait for someone else to correct it, with the following issues. What was the situation and problem? Why was it a problem? How did you go about correcting the problem? Why did you correct the problem yourself? What steps, if any, did you take to ensure that it was okay for you to correct the problem? And lastly, what happened as a result of your actions?
Well, I've had many situations where I had to take charge and correct some things. First of all, being a minister of music, I had choir members all the time that wanted to sing solos. And sometimes I had to tell them, you probably would be better on the usher board. The one that sticks out to me is working for the City of Detroit. When COVID hit, then all of us went home. So all I had to do was work 4 hours a day. But I decided that I was going to work 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day with my team. And my rationale was, well, why in the world would I just sit 4 hours and let my team do the rest of the work? So I decided to work every day, and I worked with my team. I was on Zoom calls with the team, and I did this until we went back to work. And then, consequently, I started working remotely. So I've worked remotely for about the last 4 years. We had another situation where we had a bunch of files that we had to get done, and I decided to work overtime and complete those files. And just many, many times I've decided to work above and beyond because that's what I enjoy doing. I like to get the job done. So that's a quick synopsis of some of the things that I've done.
Thank you.
Commissioner DeWalsh.
Thank you. This dimension is going to be on teamwork and building coalition. And so I'm going to ask that you please describe a time when you worked with a negative person but we're able to make it a positive working relationship. When you answer, please answer what the situation was, who was involved, and what was your role. What makes you say that the person was negative? What did you do? How did you create a positive working relationship? And what happened as a result?
Well, I've had many situations, particularly when I was teaching school. I taught elementary and middle school, and I had students where I had interesting situations, and I had to deal with them with the discipline and correcting them, and yet not being too harsh. And recently I had a situation where working for the city of Detroit, I worked for buildings and safety, and we were a part of implementation for the Sherwell system. And anybody that knows anything about Detroit, we have a do-it system. It's a ticketing system. So our department decided we wanted to implement this, and so we put it in place. And finally, my boss asked me to train a couple of my colleagues. So while training one of my colleagues, I was telling her some things that I wanted her to do. And after she typed certain things into the system, I told her, you have to sign your name. She told me she was not going to sign her name. So, of course, I was immediately disgusted because with my teaching and training background, I always felt like, the teacher, when they give you something to do, you have to listen to them and you have to do it. So then I confronted her and asked her, well, why is it you don't want to sign your name? And she just didn't want to do it. So I explained to her why she should do it. And I told her it would benefit the entire program if she would follow directions. So I've had many different situations dealing with people and correcting people and being diplomatic, and yet trying to be friendly and get the job done in a clear and succinct fashion.
Thank you.
Thank you. That'll conclude the three questions that we have. I do have a fourth question that I'll ask if it's okay. What is your understanding of the Board of Police Commissioners' responsibility as a board?
Well, I did a little research. I went online and I saw some things online that gave me an idea. I know that you meet weekly, and that was surprising to me because when I worked at the Detroit Institute of Arts, I also worked with the board of directors there. So I have experience doing that and gathering information. And I wondered what in the world could be going on, but then I found that you deal with issues within the community when people have problems with the police department, when they need to make changes, when they need to hear from the citizens. And so basically I know that you work together with the police department, trying to make it better for the citizens and for the police as well, basically.
Thank you. And do you have any questions of us that you would either like to ask our current staff, any commissioners as a collective body, or even individually by district?
Well, I would like to know, when you meet weekly, do you meet here all the time, or do you go out within the community?
Pretty simple question that I think I can answer. 3 times a month, we're in this building at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, might I add. The 4th time, which is typically the 2nd week of the month, we rotate by district in the community, typically at different recreational centers or churches or just spaces of community gathering.
I have 2 quick questions, please. Number one, if I'm afforded the opportunity to work with your group here, this is an appointed position. So does that mean that if something happens and I need to go back to my department, do they allow you to revert?
That phenomenal question. That's a technical question that I think Human Resources would have to ask. Okay. I don't know if we have Mr. Tipton on the line by chance. We don't. I'm more than happy to take that item away and have an answer provided to you. Yep.
And the last question, in this position, would I be responsible for other workers under me? Would I be in like a supervision type situation or no?
So I think there's more to be discovered with this role. Currently, that responsibility, or the responsibility for this position, has been distributed out naturally so that the work can continue to flow. In terms of structure, I think that's a pending decision that needs to come after the fact. Historically, though, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but historically there has been some level of supervision in this role.
All right. And my last question would be, I am currently trying to finish my dissertation. I've been trying to complete my PhD for the longest, and it's an interesting topic. It's why males don't go to the doctor. So might I be able to get some information within the police department, or would you know?
Could you clarify your question as it relates to your dissertation? What do you
Yes.
mean?
Well, I have to do research.
Okay.
So some of the research I'm doing is why men don't go to the doctor. And I know a lot of men suffer with this issue, so I don't know if that would be allowed or not.
I'm not sure that you would be able to cross-pollinate, if you will. There would be a separation of employment and subsequent research that you're doing outside of this job. We can get an answer, though, a concrete answer from human resources and legal, but I would anticipate that you would not be able to do that.
Okay. And in conclusion, I thank you all very much. I look forward to working with you if given the opportunity, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very kindly. Can we have the next candidate come?
That's a cold statement. Let me apologize to everybody for being late. I was trying to get here. I was in court. They just kept court going on, even after everybody's supposed to be gone.
That's okay.
I apologize.
Okay.
So I was trying to help a 90-year-old
Okay.
be free.
Hello, good
Commissioner
afternoon.
Hernandez?
Good afternoon. Thank you. Through the chair, we'll begin this similar to how we began the Personnel and Training Committee meeting. Just as a reminder, this is the second round of interviews for the Administrative Assistant Position 3. Ms. Blossom, if we could have that same summary read for this position.
Mr. Chair, if I could we have the name repeated?
Could you state your name, please?
Candace Roy.
Thank you.
This is a summary of the Administrative Specialist 3 for the Board of Police Commissioners. Under general supervision, plan, organize, coordinate, and exercise responsibility as an Administrative Assistant 3 to the Board of Police Commissioners, Board Secretary, and other staff. Additionally, leads and assists in business operations, including clerical and related work.
Thank you. The format, just for your awareness, will be similar to the first round of interviews. They will be different questions that will be asked by myself and colleagues on the board. At the end, we'll allow for you to ask questions of the board or of current staff as well as appropriate.
Okay.
Okay. Question 1, and each of these questions, again, are based on a dimension or a category, is around the dimension of technical experience. Please briefly explain how your previous experience and or education have prepared you for this position. What are some of the software applications that you're familiar with and your level of expertise?
Can you repeat the first half of the question?
Absolutely. Please briefly explain how your previous experience and or education have prepared you for this position.
So my educational background is in paralegal studies. I hold an associate's and a bachelor's degree in paralegal studies. So I have a firm understanding of complex legal issues and matters. My previous work experience has always been in the government sector, both on the state and local level. I worked with the State of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services for a period of 11 years as an eligibility specialist. I was required to maintain a caseload of approximately 900 cases, assisting families within the state of Michigan. And now on the local level with the City of Detroit and the Board of Police Commissioners for the last 2.5 years. I have a familiarity with the day-to-day operations of the board.
Thank you. Commissioner Moore?
Thank you. This next question deals with Dimension Initiative Self-Management. Please describe a situation in which you saw a problem at work and decided to correct it yourself rather than wait for someone else to correct it with the following entities. What was the situation and problem? Why was this a problem? How did you go about correcting the problem yourself? Why did you correct the problem yourself? What steps, if any, did you take to ensure that it was okay for you to correct the problem? And lastly, what happened as a result of your actions?
Recently, a citizen reached out to the board. She was looking for services to assist her with an eviction. Drawing on my background working with the state, I knew that the services that would best assist her would be through the state. So I spoke with the customer and I let her know that the state of Michigan does offer assistance with evictions. I walked out the process for her on what she needed to do as far as us getting those services. And I took the initiative to help her because, again, I knew what the process is. The board doesn't assist with evictions, but I had the resources and the knowledge to assist her.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner DeWalsh?
Yes. Thank you. My section is about teamwork and building coalition. And the question is, please describe a time when you worked with a negative person, but were able to make it a positive working relationship. And please answer, what was the situation? Who was involved and what was your role? What makes you the person, what makes you say that the person was negative? What did you do? How did you create a positive working relationship? And what happened as a result?
Can you repeat that? That was a very long question.
The whole thing?
Yes.
Okay. Please describe a time when you worked with a negative person, but were able to make it a positive working relationship. What was the situation? Who was involved? And what was your role? What makes you say that the person was negative? What did you do? How did you create a positive working relationship? And what happened as a result?
A negative person that I have worked with. Okay. So a lot of times working with the board, we do have conflicting personalities, wants, needs, desires. But I think that it's important to remember that when we are public servants, which you all are, as well as am I, that we are working for the public. We are here to assist. We are here to help. So if we are working with others that are negative and our personalities don't necessarily mesh, the ultimate goal is to assist the public. So with that, when I do work with individuals that I don't necessarily mesh with, I remember what the end goal is. Our end goal is to help, is to assist and to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have one final question for you, which is, what is your understanding of the Board of Police Commissioners' responsibility?
My understanding of the Board of Police Commissioners' responsibility is to be the oversight body for the Detroit Police Department. Additionally, they are to assist citizens when they bring matters before the board, and they're responsible for their districts and whatever initiatives that they would like to see happen within those districts.
Thank you. Are there any questions that you may have of current staff present, any commissioners as a collective body or individually by district?
No.
Thank you so much.
Any final remarks?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last candidate.
Good afternoon, or good
Yes.
evening, actually. If you could please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Janya Underwood.
Thank you. Ms. Blossom, if you could do the honor of reading the summary for the job.
This is the summary for Administrative Specialist 3, Board of Police Commissioners. Under general supervision, plan, organize, coordinate, and exercise responsibility as an Administrative Assistant 3 to the Board of Police Commissioners, Board Secretary, and other staff. Additionally, leads and assists in business operations, including clerical and related work.
Thank you. Just as a reminder, this will take a similar format as the first round of interviews. This is obviously wave 2, or the second phase of interviews. Myself, along with a few colleagues on the board, will ask you a series of questions. At the very end, you'll be able to ask us a question should you have it.
Thank you.
These questions are based similarly as your first round on different dimensions of experience. The first dimension is around technical experience. Please briefly explain how your previous experience and/or education have prepared you for this position. What are some of the software applications that you're familiar with and your level of expertise?
Well, I am a dedicated, result-driven, professional administrative assistant. I have been in this field my career, and in my career I have been with several governmental agencies, including the U.S. military. I am proficient in Microsoft Suite. I do web postings. I utilize GovDelivery software. I use an I a lot, excuse me. Well, I'm interested in this job because it aligns with my background and my skill set. I feel that this is an opportunity for me to contribute meaningful assistance as well as to grow professionally. I do have a bachelor's degree, and I'll end there.
Thank you. Commissioner Moore.
Thank you. Next category is dimension, initiative, and self-management. Please describe a situation in which you saw a problem at work and decided to correct it yourself rather than wait for someone else to correct it. Please use the following. What was the situation and problem? Why was this a problem? How did you go about correcting the problem yourself? Why did you correct the problem yourself? What steps, if any, did you take to ensure that it was okay for you to correct the problem? What happened as a result of your actions?
Oftentimes we work as a team, so what we were experiencing a problem in the office with our copy machine. I came in one day and my settings were changed completely and I wasn't able to utilize it the way that I prefer. Several other staff members were having that same issue. So I decided to contact the sales representative and get on the phone with the sales representative, indicate what my problem was and how we needed it to be resolved. I was able to work through trial and error with them, and eventually they got my machine working properly, and I was able to also have the other staff members' machine to work the same way that I'd like mine to work.
Thank you. Commissioner DeWalsh.
Thank you. My question has to do with teamwork building coalition. Please describe a time when you worked with a negative person, but were able to make it a positive working relationship. And when you answer this, please answer what was the situation, who was involved, and what was your role? What makes you say that the person was negative? What did you do? How did you create a positive working relationship? And what happened as a result?
Would you repeat that one more time?
Yes. Please describe a time when you worked with a negative person, but were able to make it a positive working relationship. Answer, what was the situation? Who was involved? What was your role? What makes you say that the person was negative? What did you do? How did you create a positive working relationship? And what happened as a result?
Well, I'm thinking about a time when I was working with another member of the staff. I wouldn't say they were a negative person, but we just perhaps did not agree on how to work together. And so I had to kind of present what I wanted to do and work in the parameters of how they wanted to work. And even though it wasn't perfect, we were able to do the task and get the job done.
Thank you.
Thank you. One final question. What is your understanding of the Board of Police Commissioners' responsibility?
The Board of Police Commissioners' responsibility is an oversight of the police department. And our role, or what I think a part of our role, is to assist the citizens who have issues and concerns with the police. Yes.
Thank you. So that'll conclude the interview. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask either current staff, the full body, or individual commissioners by district.
No, I don't have any questions.
Any closing comments?
Thank you for the opportunity. I really do want this job, but I really appreciate having this chance. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice one.
So that will conclude the interview of all three candidates that made it forward. Obviously, first and second phase of interviews. I will remind commissioners that there is no closed session for this portion. Any discussion that you may have can take place openly, keeping in mind that this is obviously a public forum. There isn't anything confidential that we would share per se regarding salaries or otherwise at this moment. So I'll just gently remind each of us of that. But if there is a motion for one of the three candidates to move forward, you can exercise your vote up or down to select a candidate.
I have a motion.
Walsh had her hand.
The Wash, yes.
I have a motion to move Janya Underwood forward.
Second.
Support. There's a motion to move Janya Underwood forward by Commissioner DeWash, and it's supported by Commissioner Moore.
Bernard.
It's actually Bernard.
Commissioner Bernard, I'm sorry. Any discussion? Yeah.
Through the chair, the only discussion that I would provide is that we had 47 candidates for this posting in particular. There was a submission of all 47 of those candidates to the Personnel and Training Committee. There was a thorough review in partnership with City HR. You obviously saw the quality of the three candidates, and that's all that I would ask you to consider. Just know that this was a thorough process from start to finish.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Hernandez, for sharing that information with us. That's very important for us to get 47 people that are good people for the commission is very impressive. I want to congratulate you and the members of the committee for going through all those resumes, which I'm sure was a challenge in and of itself, and coming up with 3 great candidates, 2 of whom we were familiar with, which is great. So that means we're providing upward mobility and upward opportunity here at the commission. So thank you very much, and for your presentation. It was excellent.
Yep. Any other discussion? Discussion I will have is that our expectation of anyone coming working for the Board of Police Commission, that they step it up for the citizens of the city of Detroit, and that we would not tolerate subpar work. And so as an appointee, we will be looking at whoever will come in there, making sure that the job is getting done for the citizens of the city of Detroit. And so whoever it is, we will take them through an evaluation process. And I'm happy to support my commissioners in this motion. But however, let's stay vigilant and making sure that the citizens get the best product that they can get. And I understand the reasons why people support this particular motion. Ms. Underwood is a phenomenal person. She's contributed a lot to the Board of Police Commissioners for a number of years. But the interview was not the best interview. All right?
Through the chair.
The only person that comes to work every day.
Well,
That's the most important thing to me.
Amen.
Through the chair, I would just say this as it relates to interviews. There's such a thing called style versus substance.
Yeah.
A person might not present the way Barack Obama or somebody famous might present.
Or Ricardo Moore.
No, not even me, because I don't give the best interviews, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So therefore, I can relate to the situation in which you're talking about.
Yeah.
The substance is there because
For sure.
she's proven in battle. Because I've put her to the test personally as it relates to my district, and she's upheld the gold standard. So
Okay.
that's why she's getting my vote.
Absolutely.
To the chair.
Yes, sir.
I agree with Commissioner Moore out of District 7.
Yes, sir.
I always talk about substance but I also want to talk about character. Ms. Underwood has great character, great intellect, does the job well, shows up every day, do the work that's assigned to her. Don't complain. You're talking about somebody that's dependable, dedicated. When the office was short-hand staffed, she stepped up along with other additional staff members, in the office. Candace Hayes stepped up in a big way. But that just show you that, we have some really good talent in this office. But I also want to acknowledge Commissioner Hernandez for the hard work him and his team has done as far as going through the screening process and things like that. We don't always agree on everything, but when you go through screening 47 people, and you rank them for 47 names, you looking at this, I know this man works hard. I've sat next to him for many years on the board. He's a great guy. He has great character. He works hard. Sometimes, as a leader, you got to think outside the box. You got to move forward, and that's what Commissioner Hernandez does. He moves forward, and I like the recommendations that he brought before the board today, as far as moving forward. And I like how we, as a team, as a commission, and how we moving forward today, and how we working together. I mean, this is great.
Thank you. We share those sentiments. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion is carried.
All right.
All right.
Great person.
Through the chair, what about filling that position? That position?
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
We're on top of it. So if I can move forward to our recommendation. So there was also, as a reminder, an administrative assistant position that we interviewed in committee for. Keep me honest, Ms. Board Secretary, I think we had 116 candidates for that posting, which Commissioners Carter, Woods, and myself looked line by line every single resume and application. Also in partnership with City HR, we ended up producing a list to interview. Those candidates were interviewed in committee. Subsequently, there was a recommendation that came out for that posting. I will remind the board, which I began based on Commissioner Burton's question in the beginning of this meeting, I began to elaborate the rationale as to why we're producing one firm candidate for that position along with a prospective. It was not in anticipation that we would ultimately select current staff for the Administrative Assistant 3 position. It was under the premise that in the future, beginning in July, the board is preliminarily approved through a budget increase to hire additional headcount at the same level as the Administrative Assistant position. And I believe there are preliminarily going to be 2 postings. So we were in partnership with City HR advised that we could pull from this same list of candidates. So we just made a proactive attempt with the recommendation that you're going to see. So we met well, for several weeks, but on May 9th, board attendees were myself, Commissioner Carter, Vice Chairperson Tamara Liberty Smith, and Chairperson Daryl Woods. Were in attendance. Staff attendees, Board Secretary Lydia Garnier, Drew Freeze, Fiscal Manager. There was, again, an interviewing of 4 candidates out of 5. I will note that the 5th candidate did not show up, and we didn't receive any additional communication from that individual. For the Administrative Assistant vacant position, the recommendation to the full board is to move the named individuals to the full board for appointment. So it would be for appointment to the Administrative Assistant position, Jasmine Juarez Espinoza, to fill the actual current Administrative Assistant position. And then for a prospective future posting, it would be Dior Mathis. Full stop, period. The second recommendation, based on the interviews that we just held for Administrative Specialist 3, again, as a reminder, we interviewed 5 candidates in committee out of 47 candidates. You just saw the second round. It would be for the appointment to the Administrative Assistant position 3, Ms. Jonia Underwood. That would be the recommendation moving forward. I believe we may need a second, and I might need.
Was it a committee composed of more than one person?
I'm sorry?
Was it a committee composed of more than one person?
Yes.
Then there would be no second required.
The nuance that I would need guidance on is, so the first vacancy, the first candidate, came out as a recommendation from the board or from the committee. This second recommendation for appointment, we just decided. So I don't think we have to include that, do we?
No, that should be a moot point.
So the question, Commissioner, is the second recommendation is not a motion from the committee.
Correct.
Then that would require a second.
So,
We just did that, though.
Yeah, we
That's
just.
the motion you just got.
No, we just interviewed the candidate and we just chose the candidate by vote.
So I guess what I'm saying, just through the chair to level set us, the original memorandum from the committee included the listed candidates for appointment to the first level position. It also included a recommendation to interview the 3 that we just did. So that negates
Okay.
the motion we just adopted. So do we have to, is there a second needed based on the edit of this memorandum, is what I'm asking.
You can just uplift the item and let's move forward.
Then I will do that then. Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
Through the chair, then I'll make a motion for appointment to the Administrative Assistant position, Jasmine Juarez Espinoza, and for a prospective future position, Administrative Assistant Dior Mathis.
Motion made by Commissioner Hernandez.
Second.
And
Support.
second by Commissioner Burton.
Discussion.
Any discussion? Yes.
Are these people present so we can see who they are?
I don't believe so.
No. Yeah, these came out of the Personnel and Training Committee as far as interviews. So
Right.
they don't never be.
So the three we just interviewed, they didn't go to the Personnel Training Committee?
Yeah, but we made a motion to move them forward for a second interview. There wasn't a need for a second interview for the first.
So it's not a need for us to even see? I'm just curious. I would just like to know who we getting. That's all. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
If it's as we done before, but push it to the vote.
Yeah. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. What is the pleasure?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Bernard to adjourn, and supported by Commissioner Moore. And all in favor say aye. Any